All right, my friends, happy Saturday morning or happy Monday night. This is the Start Spreading the News podcast, and it is also the Dr. Sem Yankees show. Today, we are going to talk about how the Yankees spent big money to bring in Kyle. Oh, wait, what? They didn't. Today, we are going to talk about how the Yankees spent big money to bring in Bo Bush. What's that? Oh, they didn't. They didn't. That was the Dodgers and the Mets. That was the Dodgers and the Mets. Today, we are going to talk about how the Yankees are not spending any money to try to make the 2026 season end better than 2025. All right, I think we'll talk about how the Yankees refuse to spend any money to make the team any better than last year. All right, all silliness aside, my friends, this is the Dr. Sem Yankee show. This is the Start Spreading the News Yankee podcast. Here's the introductions. When the music starts, of course. There we go. All righty, here we go. Oh, my goodness, all those different networks. There's a couple more we're going to be showing and an intro video for a new network we're going to be part of. But all of that is coming soon. My friends, let's begin with a simple thing we have to understand as baseball fans, as sports fans, as fans of the New York Yankees. This is supposed to be fun. It's a business. It's a serious business for the people running baseball teams and baseball leagues and all of that. It's a serious business. But being a fan is not a serious business. Being a fan is supposed to be fun. And so we can be frustrated, we can be annoyed, we can be angry, I guess. I think angry is probably taking it a little too far at the Yankees for sitting on their hands all winter. But we also have to keep this all in perspective. It does not really matter. This is supposed to be fun. So when we complain, we have to realize that we're complaining about a pastime. We're complaining about something that's supposed to give us joy. We're complaining about a sport, something that has no direct impact on 99.9999999% of all of us. Sometimes fans make that mistake. They start calling the team we. We need Bo Bichette. We need to re-sign Cody Bellinger. We need Garrett Cole to come. No, it's not we. No. It's they. Sometimes fans start puffing out their chests and standing taller when their team wins the Super Bowl or the World Series, as if somehow it's a reflection on us. It's not. If the Yankees finish in last place in 2026, I'm going to be the exact same person as if they finish in first place in 2026, as if they win the World Series in 2026. It matters little. The only thing that'll matter in my life that will change if the Yankees win the World Series this year, as compared to the Yankees finishing in third place or last place or whatever, is if the Yankees win. If the Yankees win the World Series, if the Yankees have a remarkable season that's loads of fun, I don't see any of this happening, but let's play the if game. If all that happens, I will have less money. That's the only real direct impact the Yankees will have on me. If they win the World Series, I'll probably go out and do what I did in 2009, right? And go get a playoff jersey, a World Series jersey, a sweatshirt, a new hat, or whatever. Maybe I'll go to a few games. Maybe I'll go to a World Series game. All that means is I'll be giving the Yankees more money. Right now, I don't plan to give them a dime. But that's my decision. That's how I'm going to root for the Yankees. But again, it's just supposed to be fun. If the Yankees win or if the Yankees lose, it doesn't change my life in any meaningful way. I don't become a better person if they win. I don't become a worse person if they lose. It has no effect on me and my life whatsoever. And I think we need to keep that all in perspective. It's a game. It's a sport. It doesn't, for us as fans, it doesn't really matter. For the players, for the people involved with the teams, for the people who work for the teams, for the owners and the investors, it does matter. For us as fans, it doesn't. Hey, let's make today a great day. How do you make your day great? You keep things in perspective. That's one way. But you look around at the world and you say, you know what? There's a lot of good here. And rather than complaining, though we might complain about the Yankees and the fact that they've done nothing, but we keep it in perspective. But rather than complain about all the things wrong in life, I don't like this, I don't like that, I'm angry about this, I'm angry about that. We need to look around and see all the things in our own lives and the lives of the people around us that are good, because there's much good. There is much, much, much good. And when we look around the world and we see the good and we bring it into our heart and we appreciate it, we can make each and every day great. But then, as you know, some people say to me, Dr. Sam, there is no good in my life. There's nothing. There's not one morsel of good. I would debate that. And we could sit down and I could say, does anybody care about you? Does anybody love you? Do you have a roof above your head? Do you have food? Is there heat? Do you have clothing? Do you have the internet? You must, if we're talking and you're watching this. Do you have a cell phone? Do you have a TV? Do you have a job? There's so many things. Do you have a place of worship? Do you have a community center? Right? There are good things around. But if you're going to say there's nothing, I have nothing, there's zero, I cannot find any morsel of good in my life, I have nothing to appreciate. Okay. That still doesn't mean you can't look around and find good, because you can look around and make good. If there is no good in your life, make good in your life. Do nice things for other people. Donate your time, your thoughts, your energy. Think of things that are bigger than yourself. Think of ways you can help other people in big or small ways. Write a nice letter to somebody. There's a million, there's a billion ways that you can figure out to do nice things. And if you're doing nice things, guess what? There's good. You are creating good. And look around then at the good you're creating and appreciate it in your heart and spread it forward. Remember, when we give love, it comes back to us in greater amounts than we ever gave. That's not why we give it, and that's not why we gave it. But it is a residual, very true impact of finding the good, appreciating the good, and spreading the good forward. Make today great. All right, as you know, this program is also brought to you by Artemisia Publishing. Artemisia Publishing can be found online at apbooks.net, and they have published a host of phenomenal books. They published the least among them. If you haven't read this Yankee book, you're missing out. It's a great, great, great book. Wait, what did you say? Did they publish any other baseball books? Of course they did. They published Roy White's From Compton to the Bronx. You haven't read it yet? You're missing out. Have they published any other great books? Of course they did. They published this, 365.2, Going the Distance. Want to be motivated? You want to find ways to look to the good? Read this. This is the story of the year that I ran every single day for an entire year. Well worth the read. It'll motivate you to set your own goals and to find ways to achieve them. Anything else that Artemisia has published that's great? Scattering the Ashes, the world's greatest novel. If you haven't read it, your life is incomplete. Well, maybe not, but your life could be more complete if you read Scattering the Ashes. This is the world's greatest novel. It's an award-winning novel, too, by the way. Written by me, also an audiobook narrated by me. The Least Among Them is also an audiobook. You can go to Artemisia Publishing at apbooks.net. You can find all these books and the audio tapes or the audiobooks. Guess we don't do cassette tapes anymore. Sometimes I spill my age. At apbooks.net, Amazon, and the rest. Now, I'm not just published through AP Books. That is true. Sunbury Books has also published, quite finally, here it is. I know so many people have been waiting. They've been saying, Dr. Sem, the Gettysburg book. Where's the Gettysburg book? You've been talking about it for years. When will the Gettysburg book come out? There it is, my friend. West Point at Gettysburg. This is the book. Dr. Paul Sem, listen to this. The greatest Civil War writer, expert in the country today, James McPherson, wrote, Paul Semendinger has produced a unique volume that is a combination reference work, collective biography, and narrative of the Battle of Gettysburg. In all of these capacities, it will be of great value to anyone interested in the American Civil War, especially its biggest and most famous battle. How about that? That's James McPherson of Princeton University talking about this book and about me. This is kind of fun. Little picture of me at Gettysburg in the back. That's the monument to the Excelsior Brigade from New York, where my great-great-grandfather struggled in the wheat field on the second day at the Battle of Gettysburg. But he's not in the book because he was not an officer who went to West Point. He was just an enlisted man, but I say just in quotes. West Point at Gettysburg, Sunbury Publications. All right, my friends. There was a time when the Yankees celebrated winning. We know those days are over, and we can complain about it while keeping things in perspective and looking to the good and appreciating the good and spreading the good. But there was a time when the Yankees cared about winning. the first time I ever went to Yankee Stadium, my dad bought me this. Here's my Yankees 1976 American League Championship pennant. This was when the Yankees had come back for the first time in the World Series since 1964. This is representing Chris Chambliss' home run, I believe. And then that year, because they didn't win the World Series, they went out and they got Reggie. And then after the 77 World Series, I remember getting this book, the Reggie Jackson Scrapbook, with all sorts of pictures of Reggie, including the big home runs in the World Series. That's number 3 off Charlie Hough. There he is, tipping his hat to the crowd. Those were magical days when the greatest players came to the Yankees because the Yankees out-hustled everybody else. Those were the days when the Yankees got Reggie and Don Gullett and Andy Messersmith and Catfish Hunter and Goose Gossage. Now, did they all work out? No, that's never going to happen. I have to explain this to Yankee fans time and time again because people purposefully, I believe, because this isn't hard to understand, but they purposefully misrepresent what I keep saying. They don't understand it, or they purposefully misconstrue or misrepresent. For most of my life as a Yankees fan, dating back to Reggie in 1977, when I went to my first game the next year after they went to the playoffs or the World Series and lost to the Reds, then I went to the stadium the next year, got the pennant, celebrated that they were American League champions, even though I didn't really know what that meant. And then that year they won the World Series, and then they won it the next year. And for the most of my life as a Yankee fan, even if they didn't do well, every Yankee fan had the sense that the Yankees were doing everything they could to win. They were putting the best possible team on the field. They were going for it. This was especially true, and it's the best representative of what I'm talking about, in the 2000 aughts, if you will. From 2001 to 2008, no one can claim that the Yankees were not going for it those years. They were putting great players on the field and in virtually every single position. And each year, they were getting new great players, including guys like Gary Sheffield, Hideki Matsui, Jason Giambi, Mike Messina, Alex Rodriguez, Johnny Damon. I mean, on and on. Did they make mistakes? Of course they made mistakes. Of course they did. But you had the sense on opening day of spring training, you had the sense all winter before the season that it was going to be a great year because the Yankees were going for it. And this is what people don't understand or purposefully misrepresent. They say all Yankee fans want is a World Series victory. That's not quite right. Yes, that's all I want in one sense, because the Yankees should be about excellence. And if they don't win the World Series, because they're the Yankees and not the Mets and not the Pirates and not the Brewers and not any other team outside of the Dodgers, failure to win the World Series has to be seen as some sort of a letdown, as some sort of a failure. You didn't accomplish the task. Yes, I want the Yankees to win the World Series every year, but I don't expect them to win the World Series every year. To expect that would be ludicrous. It's not going to happen. It has never happened, ever, for any team in any sport. No matter how great you are, you're not going to win the World Series or the Super Bowl or whatever every single year. No matter how fast you are, you're not going to win every single race every year. And that's just determined on yourself. Teams lose. Players lose. Athletes lose. We know that. But if you lose while you're going for it, the Dodgers might not win the World Series in 2026. That's a distinct and very real, and in many regards, a very probable outcome. But if I were a Dodgers fan, I wouldn't be upset. I'd be disappointed that they didn't win it all at the end. I'd say, oh my goodness, we could have done it. But I would know they put their best efforts out there, as I did as a Yankee fan in 01 and 02 and 03 and 04. My goodness, the Red Sox won the World Series in 04. It was a disaster. And 05 and 06 and 07 and 08 even. Though it was starting to dwindle then, of course. But I knew they were putting the best team out there. They were going for it. And I was disappointed that they didn't win, but I wasn't disappointed in the franchise because I knew they were going for it. And as someone who believes in excellence, that's how I live my whole life. I say, I want to be the best at whatever I do. I expect the same thing from the Yankees. I don't really follow football. I'm a Jets fan. If you would consider me that, I don't really care if they win or lose. But I don't watch every football game. In fact, I don't think I watched any Jets game this year because they were terrible. But if the Jets are good, they'll give me some interest. But I don't invest in the Jets. I invest in the Yankees. I expect the Yankees, because they're the Yankees, to go for it every year, to put the best team on the field. I don't expect that of the Jets. I don't expect that of any other team, except the Dodgers. Because teams can't do that, but the Yankees can. And the Yankees built their brand. They built their fan base. This is what people don't get. They built their fan base on that notion. We're the Yankees. We're the best. We're going for it. We're not going to win it all the time. I don't expect them to. I want them to, but I don't expect them to. But I expect them to go for it. And what we've seen out of the Hal Steinbrenner, Brian Cashman era is a philosophy that says we're only going to be good enough. We don't have to be great. We just want to win the regular season or finish within the wild card playoffs. We want to be part of a postseason run. We want to be part of a pennant chase. And then we hope to get in. And then we hope good things happen. Maybe he catches fire and can carry the team, whoever those people might be on a given year. And maybe they can carry us all the way to the World Series and a World Series victory. Or maybe we know that the competition isn't all that good, so we don't have to be all that better to probably make the playoffs. That's the wrong, completely wrong attitude. And what the Yankees are doing in this era, one World Series in 25 years, one World Series victory, championship season. What the Yankees are doing is trashing their legacy and their tradition. And they're saying to the Yankee fans, it's okay to only be pretty good. And that's not what we're used to. That's not what we enjoy. And it's driving fans away. I know, I talk to them every single day. They write in on the blog. I'm not going to any games this year. That's what they're writing. I couldn't care less about the Yankees. I'm done with the Yankees. And they are. They're sincere. They're fed up. Because while the Yankees are accepting mediocrity, or maybe you want to, they're not mediocre. They've been over 500 every year since 1993. They're mostly in the playoffs over all the time. Yeah, and some of the years they get bounced after one game or whatever, but you get the idea. They're not striving for excellence. And any of us, the Yankees included, Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman included, would not accept that level of competence from anybody else in their lives, even though that's what they're giving their fans. They would not accept that for anybody else. If you sat down, I guarantee this. I've never met Hal Steinbrenner. I'd love to. I'd love to tell him how to run his team. I'd love for him to listen to me because I can do a good job. I'd make the Yankees winners if he let me, if he gave me the resources and let me do what's necessary. I guarantee it. You don't know anything about running a baseball team. I don't. No. But I know what striving for excellence means, and I know what creating a culture of excellence means. I know a lot about that. But if you sat down with Hal Steinbrenner and you said, hey, Hal, like your personal physician, if I could get an appointment, should I? How good is he or she? Hal would say, oh, my God, I got the best. I have the absolute best physician. Hey, Hal, do you go to a chiropractor? Yeah. How is he? He's the best. Or she. How's your dentist? She's the best. How's your eye doctor? Nobody better. How's your car mechanic? Oh, my goodness. Your car salesperson. When you buy a new car, I go to the same person every time. You can't do better than this guy. Or lady. You get the idea. I guarantee you, if you ask him, where does he get his food? He gets his food from the best restaurants and the best stores. And he buys the best kinds of foods at the best restaurants and the best stores. And if he drinks wine, he drinks the best wine. And if he drinks bourbon or whatever, I don't really know much about bourbon and wine and all that, but if he does, he ain't getting the $7 bottle or the $14 bottle. I can almost guarantee you that. He's saying, I'm buying the best bottle. Because that's what we expect in our lives. That's my point. That's what we all expect in our own lives. We expect the people we interact with to be the best. We want our accountants to be the best. We want our doctors to be the best. We want our school teachers to be the best. We want our superintendents of schools to be the best. And we want them to work hard to be that. We want them to be the best when we hire them, and we want them to work even harder once we've hired them to be even better. Nobody wants to say to their doctor, I know. My goodness. Oh, boy. In 2012, you were the greatest doctor in the world, baby. You were tops. You were the great. Oh, my goodness. You were so great. You're lousy now, but I'm going to still keep going to you because you were so great 13 years ago or 15 years ago or whatever. We wouldn't put up with that. We would not put up with that. And yet the Yankees, Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner and all the rest of them want us as fans to accept that as the product they're putting on the field as the New York Yankees. Again, they were the Baltimore Orioles. All right. We understand you can't put the greatest team on the field. They're the Kansas City Royals. Okay, I get it. They're the New York Jets. Sure, I get it. You can't do it. You never will if you're the Jets. But this is the Yankees. And the message the Yankee ownership is giving and the management is good enough is good enough. And it's simply not, because they wouldn't and we don't accept that in any other facet of our lives. We should be striving, but we need and want to be the best in everything we do. And the people who surround us, we want them to be the best in whatever they do. And when they're not, we move on. We go to the accountant and he's like, yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. I'm having trouble. I don't really keep up with the current tax code. We go to the doctor and he's like, yeah, I have no idea. Take 2 aspirin, call me in the morning or something. I don't know. We go to a different doctor. Our tooth hurts. We go to the dentist and the dentist goes, I can't find anything. And then you go to another dentist and they go, oh, yeah, you had a cavity. You're never going back to the original dentist. You expect greatness. You expect a high level of competence from the people you employ. And not meaning we all own businesses or we are all bosses, but we employ them through our money in the service they give us back. And yet the Yankees don't accept that, don't expect that, and they don't deliver that. And that's why their fan base is fed up with them. And that is why their fan base is walking away. And each year, more and more fans walk away because the Yankees want to give their fans something well short of excellence, while other teams like the Los Angeles Dodgers are doing all they can to continue to bring their fans not just excellence, but greatness. If the Dodgers don't win the World Series this year, their fans can at least say they went for it and something went wrong along the way, but they went for it. If the Yankees don't win the World Series, which they won't, the fans are going to say they didn't care. And if they don't care, why should I? All right, my friends, that'll do it for today. This was the Dr. Sem Yankee Show. This was the Start Spreading the News Yankee podcast. In February, EJ and I on Monday nights are going to go back to doing our regular show most Mondays. It'll be great to be back on the air with EJ, but that's going to come in a couple more weeks. Until then, keep looking to the good. Keep this all into perspective because it really doesn't matter. Find your great doctor. Find your great accountant, find your great dentist, and all those people in your lives. Hold yourself to the highest standards. Be good, be kind, be understanding, give empathy. Make each day great. When we give love, it comes back to us. It does. It does. Maybe not immediately. Well, I gave love and some guy yelled at me and gave me the finger when I was cutting him off on the highway or whatever. You know what? Some guy gave me the finger the other day on the highway. Okay, I'm sorry, but you're the one with the problem, not me. None of these things are perfect. There's still going to be bad things that happen, of course. But we still need to look to the good, and we still need to be kind, and we still need to appreciate the goodness in people and in the world and in our lives that surround us. Have a great day. Thank you. And I'll see you next week.